everybody. This is Kim from It Again Bookstore, and today I'm talking to Jason Freeman. Hey, Jason.
Hey, Kim, how you doing?
Hey, okay. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name is Jason Freeman. I'm 40 years old. Grew up here in this lovely town of Cumming. It used to be a small little town. It's not so much small anymore.
No, it's blossoming.
It's growing so fast I can't even keep up. That's really about it. Husband, proud father of my wonderful kids. So, hello.
Yeah, this is my friend Cheris. Hey. Make that go away. Okay, awesome. So, tell me about your book.
It's called Under the Sun, Kim, and it's a tale of how tragedy can be turned into triumph. I think we've all faced tragedy in our life in some shape, form, or fashion, and I wanted to tell a story of how someone faced what I consider possibly the ultimate tragedy of losing a child and turning it into something amazing, and how people shouldn't take things for granted. I can't give too much away. You have to read the book to check out exactly what happens, but that's really it. A man takes his son camping, and the son is inexplicably killed. And after falling into a dark, deep depression, he figures out a way through some miracles and things to turn that tragedy into triumph, and learns that you can't take anything for granted. But like I say, you'll have to check out the book to get the whole story.
Yeah, and it's a fast read, which I thought was refreshing.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah, so I read it this morning, and it was a good way to start the day.
Oh, awesome. Do you like it?
Yeah, I did like it. It was good. So why did you write a book?
Honestly, Kim, I have written for a long time. I mean, even at a young age, 9, 10 years old, and I never really did it for praise or anything like that. It was always somewhat therapeutic.
Yeah.
And then I went to film school. I wanted to learn how to write movies, and that was a great experience. And so I would write screenplays, and again, nothing ever transpired, and I never really even showed a whole lot of people my writing. Then, I came up with this story. Like I said, I wanted to tell that story. And actually, my wife was the one that said, why don't you put it into a book? Write it as a book. And I'm like, I don't know how to write a book. I'm trained in screenwriting. I don't know how to write a book. She said, it really can't be that hard. Why don't you just try it? And so I said, okay. And after I got about 2 or 3 chapters in, I said, you know what? I can do this.
Yeah.
So, I guess the rest is history. They say I kept writing and kept writing. And next thing you know, I had Under the Sun.
So where did the story come from?
I was at work one day, just kind of zoned out. It was really funny. I'm not one of those that writes stuff down when it comes to ideas. I really wish I would, because sometimes they pop in my head and then they leave. But this in particular day, I was just thinking about it. And like I said, I thought, my son was about 2 years old, and I was just thinking, for some reason, what would be the most tragic thing? And I think it would be losing a child, and especially for a dad losing a son that he's very close to. That's what popped in my head. And I was like, well, what if there was a way that if that tragedy was to happen, then through by any means possible, something miraculous happened after that. And how would someone take it? And the story just evolved from there. And I actually got home, and I told my wife about it, and I wrote down like a synopsis. And she said, Jason, this is really good. Write it and put it in book form. And so I did.
Very cool. Okay, we got another question here, Where did you come up with the setting for the cover?
When I came up with the title of Under the Sun, in the story in my head, I envisioned a circle of light coming through where it was not supposed to come through. So it transpired from there, because I thought, well, what if they went to this place where there usually wasn't a whole bunch of sunlight? It would be covered up. It was got constant shade, constant, stuff like that. That a beam, a nice circle of light, would not come through there normally. So I thought, the cover, and then it just kind of stuck. So It wasn't anything really based on real life. It just was, like I said, I wanted to come up with something to where they, like I say, where sunlight wasn't constant. Not that it was just dark, dreary place, but a perfect beam of sunlight when Peyton talked would not normally be there, and it only appeared when he was there, when he was talking. So that's, like I said, that's where it really transpired from, was that I wanted, I needed a setting where that particular beam of sunlight would not come through. So the cover was born.
Did you grow up camping?
I did grow up camping. My mom and dad took me camping for many, many, many years.
Where are your favorite places to camp?
Bald Ridge Campground here in Cumming. Many a moons we spent there at Bald Ridge Campground. For the longest time, that was I would say the premier campground around here, around in Forsyth County, even in Gainesville. I mean, there's been a bunch of campsites pop up and campgrounds, I should say. But Bald Ridge, and it was right down the street from where I grew up. So we camped there. Golly, I would say we almost camped there every weekend for 10 years.
Wow. Do you still go camping?
I do. I've got a camper, and we haven't been. We went last 4th of July, and we haven't been since. But 5-6 years ago, we'd go all the time camping. Life's gotten a lot busier now, so it's not easy to wrangle up the kids and hop in the camper and go. Not like it used to be, but yeah, we still go when we get a chance.
Good, awesome. So what did your family think of your book?
They like it.
Yeah.
They better like it, or they're lying to me. No, they all like it. My family's been so supportive and backed me 100% in all this. So
that's awesome. Are you working on anything now? I've got that question right here. Love the book. Ready for the next one? No pressure.
Thank you, Judy. No pressure at all. I think that's the 4th or 5th time she's asked about the new book. I actually, Kim, I do have another book. I'm a little over halfway through it. It's called Following Vultures. It's about a guy. His daughter was murdered. Apparently, I can't write a book without a child dying. Apparently,
well,
but
you're writing to your greatest fear.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But his daughter was murdered, and the man that they arrested and tried for it, he wanted to go meet the guy. Wanted him to look into his eyes. Well, once he did, he started meeting him more and more and realized he thinks this guy's innocent. So he goes to bat for him. Once again, can't tell you the rest of the story, can't tell you what happens because it'll ruin it. You'll have to check it out when it comes out. But I would say about 60% through it. I'm about 18 chapters. It's going to be a lot longer than Under the Sun.
So was it the pandemic that kind of pushed you also to write? Like, 'cause you said your business was a little slow, and so needed something to do.
Yeah, it helped, Kim.
Yeah.
I had finished the first draft of Under the Sun almost 6 years ago now.
Wow.
I finished the first draft. I wrote the second draft, and I gave it to a couple of people that said, you should really pursue this. This is good. And then honestly, it hit the shelf for a while because of kids growing up, baseball, football, everything you could imagine. Then we sold our house and had this whole process of trying to build another house. And that's a whole nother 2-hour story, I could tell you. Anyway,
it's a different novel.
Yeah, exactly. That is a different novel.
That's a horror story.
Anybody would want to read it, yeah. But it like I say, it hit the shelf then big time. I didn't touch it for years. And about a year and a half ago, I said, I'm not going to just let this thing go. I'm not just going to keep it. It's, I've been told it's good. Everybody that read it said, please do something with this. And so I dusted it off and finished that final draft and started sending it out to literary agents, and a lot of them turned me down. And finally, I stumbled across iUniverse, and that's how it happened. So, I mean, the pandemic did have a lot to do with it because I was given a little more time to kind of polish it up, get that last draft out, And then I really pushed it to literary agents and stuff. And like I said, that's when it really hit. And then I found out in June of last year that it was going to get published, and it didn't actually come out until January of this year. And I wanted to keep it a secret. I wasn't going to tell everybody until I had a copy in my hand.
Yeah.
So it was quite difficult to keep that a secret from my friends and family for quite a while. I mean, almost a year. I mean, but yeah,
So
that's how it happened.
your writing style, like, when you were writing the book, did you plot it out? Like, did you know where you wanted it to go, or did you just throw it out into the page?
Yes, no, I knew exactly what I wanted to do from the start. I knew the beginning, the middle, and the end. So it was about I knew the story, and I think that's the most important part of anything, a book, movie, any type of medium like that. If you have a good story, then the rest will kind of write it and tell itself. So I had the story, and I thought that the story was really good. So how do I just fill in the pieces? And it all seemed to just kind of spill out on the page. And that helped me a lot because I enjoy writing, and I'll sit down and write a short story or something that, just for my own benefit. It seems to just spill right out of me. And that's what I did. Like I said, I had the beginning, had the character names, had the middle, had the protagonist, the antagonist. I had everything ready to go. I just needed to fill in the blanks and write the book.
So here's an excellent question. What kind of research did you do? Did you talk to parents who lost children in tragic manner to help you understand the depth and range of emotions? It's a great question.
Karis, actually, I did not do much research on that. I really maybe I should have, to be honest with you, but I kind of winged it on that. I kind of delved into a little bit of what I think I would do. There's a part of the book where he's, of course he's drinking very heavily and very depressed. But what I started with is how I would feel if I took my son camping and something like that happened. And like I said, he says it in the book where he says, I couldn't stop it. And that's really where they call it method acting, maybe method writing, because it's never happened to me personally. And I didn't really ask a lot. And that's kind of a touchy question, just to be honest with you, of how some, I didn't really want to ask a whole bunch of questions about that. So I kind of thought, how would I feel if that unbelievable sadness was there, but more guilt that I blamed myself? And so that's really where it stemmed from, more than doing research of asking people and stuff like that. I did talk to a lady that she had lost her 10-year-old son. It was to cancer. It wasn't, it wasn't
a freak accident. Yeah.
Accident like that. But she said somewhat the same type of thing, was that she was like, I know it was something out of my control, but I felt so helpless because I couldn't do anything about it. And that's kind of Jeff's plight. At least that's what I wanted him to feel in the book, was that it wasn't, yes, he was incredibly, grieving for the loss of his son completely, and that it was tearing the marriage up and everything, but he felt so guilty because he couldn't stop it. And like I said, that's really where, that's where that thing came from. Not trying to ramble, but like I said, when she told me that, it kind of stuck with me. And so, I mean, that's really about all the research I did on that. Like I said, I wasn't really keen on asking a whole bunch of people.
Yeah. What other research did you do? Did you family, we have to go camping because I need to research this book? So
I actually did a lot of research. Well, I say a lot. It wasn't a whole bunch, but I did a good bit of research on the Cascade Mountains up there, Mount Rainier, where I don't know why I wanted to set it in Washington. I have no idea. It's just kind of where because I pictured really tall trees and lush greenery, and you have a lot of that, up there in that, that mountain range, and like I said, where Mount Rainier is, and So I did a bunch of stuff like that. The dirt road and the path and the pond and the waterfall. I found some pictures of stuff like that. Researching, Googling, about that. That was really it. I did a little bit of research on the journalist Willis. I looked at what if something like that was to really happen, if they were at a bar one night, like the character Bryce was at the bar and told him in kind of a drunken stupor, would that journalist actually have the ability to do something like that? And so I did a little bit of research on that, but other than that, really, Kim, not a whole lot. Like I say, it all kind of I kind of took it from the gut and rolled with it.
So this gentleman, who I think you're related to, did you reference horror, scary, thriller movies to help you write your story?
No, I didn't really. Yes, yeah, that's my younger brother, by the way. Thank you, John. No, I didn't. I really didn't. I mean, again, it's kind of weird because I used the phrase just a second ago, from the gut. I really try to tell my story from the gut. Yes, I had to do a little bit of research here and had to do a little bit of thinking outside the box and Googling stuff and things like that. But I really kind of just wrote it just, literally from the gut.
So if there's one thing that you would want your readers to take away from your book, what would that be?
To not take anything for granted.
Oh, love it. Yeah.
I mean, things can change in such a blink of an eye. And
stories that could help someone through life tragedies provide hope. You're are the best kind of books. Proud of you, son.
Thanks, Mom. But yeah, and that's really it, Kim. I mean, that's really, if I had, I guess, one goal in writing the book was that if the reader come away with some sort of emotion, if I was able to move that reader into an emotion,
I've had goosebumps a couple times.
That's awesome. I think if I did that as a writer, I served my purpose. And if there's any message to the story, is do not take anything for granted. Life throws you curveballs all the time, and things that you don't think about can literally happen so fast. And most importantly, you don't realize excuse me, you don't realize how important someone is till they're not there.
That's so true.
And I say it at the end of the book: hug your kids.
Tell
your parents you love them every day. Don't leave mad.
Yeah.
You just don't know. And so, I guess if that was my main message, then that's what it would be, Kim.
That's a great message. Like that. Yeah. We have copies of Jason's book in stock. He's going to stop by hopefully this week and sign them if he's got some free time. And so if anybody's interested, I posted a link in the comments so you can buy the book off our website, or you can come into the store and buy it. And when we open the store back up, we'll have to have you sign our author wall.
I will be glad to. It will be my honor.
Yeah. So anybody who's watching doesn't know, we had a flood a couple weeks ago, and so we had to move to a temporary location. So our bookstore is our temporary bookstore looks fine. It's great. Our old bookstore looks like an empty shell, and it's super sad. So love hearing local authors on your show. Oh, thank you. I love you referring to this as a show. That is great. Thank you.
That is awesome.
Okay. Well, thank you, Jason. This has been really interesting. I enjoyed your book. Everybody, you should read Jason Freeman's book, Under the Sun. We have copies in stock. If we aren't your favorite independent bookstore, we would love to be, but we understand if you want to support your local independent bookstore. Well, thanks. Have any parting words for everybody?
No, that's it. Go check out the book. Tell me what you think. And Kim, thank you so much. This has been a true pleasure.
Make sure you guys buy Jason's book and give him lots of good reviews on Goodreads and stuff, so that everybody can read it and everybody will know it exists.
Yes. Yeah? Thank you so much.
Yeah. All right. Have a good day. Bye.
You too. Bye.